You are listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast, a show by personal trainers for personal trainers. It's time to become a better trainer, get more clients, and change more lives. And now, here's your host, the head coach and founder of Fitness Mentors, Eddie Lester.
Hey guys, welcome to Fitness Mentors Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. My name's Eddie Lester, your host, and today I'm here with Gilbert Camacho. Welcome, Gilbert.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Awesome. Well, I wanted to get Gilbert on this podcast because he, like many of you out there, had to make a transition because of COVID. And I wanted to get into his experience and relate it to a lot of what personal trainers are going through, some of the successes, some of the failures, some of the fear that comes up around all of this. And I guess I kind of want to start, Gilbert, by asking you, or basically allowing you to kind of tell your story around, what happened in the last 6 months and prior to that, even your experience as a trainer.
Got it. Gilbert Camacho, guys. Pleasure to be here. I was the assistant fitness manager over at 24 Hour Fitness. Was there for 7+ years. You name it, every contest in the book they had, I would pretty much win it, revenues, total session service. It was one of those where when COVID hit, I was kind of stuck in the rut of what am I supposed to do now? If I'm not training people, how am I supposed to provide for my family? How am I supposed to bring in any sort of income? Because, even unemployment wouldn't do that much for my family, for myself. So
Gilbert, tell me about what happened, when they told you about COVID and how they were responding. What actually happened, with 24?
Everyone was freaking out, first of all, and they didn't have really protocols set up into what was going to happen. Members were asking about, hey, what are you guys going to do for us as members? How are you guys going to keep us safe? And we had no answer, to tell you the truth. We were just kind of putting signs up, kind of trying to clean everything as much as we can. And then I want to say March 15 or March 16 hit, and that's when the governor decided, hey, we're going on a massive shutdown. And everything was shut down. Then I was left in a phase of what to do next, pretty much.
Yeah, I see. And what did your kind of management say? Was it just like the gym's closed and what happened there?
That was the worst part. Gym closed to further notice. Myself, I didn't know how serious COVID was, so I was going about, I'm probably gonna be out of work for 2-3 weeks, and then 2-3 weeks led to more on top of that, which there was no communication on 24-hour fitness part, which I felt was a letdown to me, especially because I had been, I've been with the company for 7+ years. I've given so much to that company. I've made them tons and tons of money. I just felt like I needed some more, some more communication, and there was none whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. And then I guess kind of tell me, like, when did you realize that you needed to make the effort to kind of gear up and start making revenue? Well, I assume they just, hey, all paychecks are going to be canceled for the first bid. Did they pay you? What happened there?
They paid us one paycheck after that. And then they paid everybody out their vacation time, which is ideally at the time, I didn't really want my vacation time to be paid out, but they did that. And that was it. We were all left to, furlough, to be on unemployment. A couple of months down the line, they opened up for about a week. I went back for about 3 days. And then there was just this weird energy and weird vibe going on in there, which I knew was probably going to close down again. That happened. And they pretty much laid off half of the company, whether it was through an automated phone call.
Wow.
Hey, they're hired, which was that, but for sure, for me, was the ending straw of me with this company, for sure.
I see. And when did you realize that you needed to, transition to? Well, tell me what you're doing now, and then when in the process did you decide, if I don't make a move, everything's gonna go bad? So,
well, I mean, I'm not the type to just sit around, so it was kind of, I'm always thinking, what's my next move, regardless of COVID, regardless of what's going on. So. And I reached out to a few people. I reached out to you, I believe, Eddie. I reached out to a few of my other friends who have their own personal training business. I've always thought about going on my own, but there's always that, that sense of scare, that you're scared to do it. Change is scary. but what 24-hour fitness did as far as laying off people the way they did, and I had to figure out the next move, the transition, and it made my transition to going private a lot easier. I met with, who I needed to make this legitimized as far as going, starting my own company. And now officially as of August, 3C's Fitness has launched, and it's
Awesome.
21 I have 21 clients right now. So I offer some partner training. I offer a small little group training, and then one-on-one personal training as well. So, and now I'm going to try to make the transition into online personal training, which I have one client in that, but it's a bit of an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, no, and when you reached out, near the kind of beginning of COVID, I definitely pointed you towards our business and sales CEU course, which I know you got a lot of value out of. And that kind of, it sets you up to understand everything that you need to do in advance to then launch your private training business and add all those services. So tell me about what happened, after your first furlough. Like how quickly did you start training again? Did you grab clients that you were currently training at 24-hour Fitness and train? Tell me what happened with that.
So that's what happened as soon as I think it was a Monday. That was like March 15th or 16th. A few of my clients that I train 3 or 4 times a week actually reached out to me and were like, "Hey, I need to do something. Can you come to my house?" And at this point, I owned a Bosu ball, a TRX, some resistance bands, and I think some 8-pound weights is how I started with my first 3 clients out of the 24-hour Fitness, which is, now that I think back to it, it's pretty amazing the transition that's happened since. From 3, I slowly started, I think more people are getting more comfortable with COVID as far as wearing masks and gloves and whatnot. So I just started reaching out to, past clients, and I had a good clientele, about anywhere from 25 to 30 clients at 24-hour Fitness with group training that I used to run services for them as well. So, and then just word of mouth, and I slowly started building this gym, which is transitioned to this beautiful, probably $10,000 gym. And now.
So you built a gym in your garage, or?
I built a gym in my 2-car garage, anywhere from driving out, to Rancho Cucamonga, those of you that live in California, San Bernardino, to pick up rubber mats. You talk about squat racks, barbells. It's coming from all over. So yeah, made that transition. I also work remote too. So my 2 days a week, I'm in the city of Manhattan Beach, where I have a group of elderly clients where I train anywhere from 50 to 75 years old. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much a one-stop shop. I go, 50-minute training sessions. I drive up 1 to 2 minutes down the road, train the next one. And the ultimate goal was to make this gym, make it inviting to where, I would have majority of my clients come to me, and I want to say 17 out of the 21 come to me now. So that's awesome. That's huge too.
Go ahead. I was going to say, talk to me about the fear of spending money on equipment to build out your garage gym. And because it's a solid investment to create your own gym, at your house or in general. Talk to me about how that felt. Has it paid off? Tell me about that, how that has gone.
Yeah, no, there's always that fear, you're going to spend some money, but, I don't know, demographic location plays a big part. And if you want to be invited, you want people to come to your gym, if you have a CrossFit box, if you have a private studio, it has to be inviting. People want to have to come there. It has to look good. And that's the whole approach I took onto when purchasing some of this stuff, hey, let me get some colorful bumper plates. Let me, get some colored bars, stuff that makes it appealing to people and inviting for them to want to come in. It's definitely paid off. From when I made the transition, I bought equipment piece by piece, don't get me wrong, how it's officially done with the 65-inch flat screen TV in there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely paid off. It's been a return of investment. I've made back, what I've spent and way more than that already.
Great.
And yeah. I think that was the breaking point, or the difference of like making my business succeed or not, which it has right now. And, hopefully it keeps working that way.
Awesome. And have you been able to replace your entire 24-hour Fitness income, or talk to me about the differences between what you're making at each location?
Absolutely. For at 24 Hour Fitness, I was six-figure trainer there, making around roughly 120,000 a year. If I'm at the pace that I'm going at now, I'm going to either hit that or exceed that, because now I am working for myself.
That's awesome.
They're not taking a percentage of my income. So yesterday I worked a 10-hour day. It feels a lot better, Eddie, to work a 10-hour day for yourself than it does for someone else. I'll tell you that much.
That is awesome.
It was one of those Eddie too, where, like, for newer trainers or people that have been in the business, it's about kind of knowing your craft. If you're comfortable with your craft, if you're comfortable with your skill set, and program designing goes back a long time, just kind of stick to the basics and it's going to work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Talk to me about the difference in working for yourself as far as the personal freedom. I know that you had a son recently. What's the difference between, your working for yourself, personal freedoms versus working for 24 Hour Fitness, and how those kind of compare?
This was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. So it wasn't just my decision. Obviously I had to talk to my wife. I have a 6-month-old son now. I wanted more time for myself, Eddie. I was at the 24 Hour Fitness, like I said, for 7+ years, the assistant fitness manager there. I was working anywhere from 9 to 13 hours a day, meaning I would get there at 5 a.m. I wouldn't have the time to be able to come home for an hour because I would have to be back in that whatever hour break. And then, I was there till 8 p.m., 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. I, was rarely seeing my wife, So the transition and the freedom that I get now to be able to, take my son to, the babysitter, pick him up from the babysitter, helps my wife out a lot as well. And then just being able to spend more time with my family has been the biggest thing. And it really is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. That's awesome.
That's awesome. And as far as, so you were, what was it, 6 days a week at 24 Hour Fitness that you were there?
6 days, Saturdays, I would work from 7 to about 12 on any given Saturday. So.
Okay, and then plus like a 10-hour day almost guaranteed or more on during the week?
Right. Yeah.
So you went from maybe working like almost 60 hours per week at 24 Hour Fitness. How many hours are you working now on your own?
Right now I'm working 45.
So. Wait, so you're still getting a ton of hours, and that's great. And is that 45 sessions per week that you're performing?
Right, 45 sessions. Yeah. That's including the time I take. Remember, I got to do program designing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that takes time out of my afternoon while I'm sitting there watching the Dodger Laker game.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting that in there. But yeah, there's a lot more that goes into running your own business. Obviously, you have the commercial gyms, you have people, the on-flow traffic that comes in. So therefore you get the opportunity or not, to potentially get a new client. Here, fortunately, I haven't had to market myself too much, but there will be some marketing that goes, hand in hand with, keeping the business alive, keeping the business strong, keeping the business going, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And in our business and sales course, we talk about the lead generation. And I know you've been using a lot of those techniques. When you think about like getting clients, how do you get them? I know most of your clients were kind of word of mouth and kind of playing off of your old job. Have you made any moves in that marketing place yet?
Absolutely. It's I've been using social media right now for whatever it's worth. And then just word of mouth. I've made business cards, I carry them everywhere I go, whether it's the Ralph's parking lot, sometimes they have pin your business card here. I do stuff like that. Just randomly walking on the Strand, I'll see some people, hey, here you go, here's my business card. I actually, what I love the most is, yes, I have my fair share of clients from 24 Hour Fitness, but I also have a good amount that were not even members at 24 right now.
That's really cool.
Which has been huge. I would feel, I would say.
That's great. That's great. And then tell me, like, with advice for a personal trainer kind of looking to go private, what is some advice that you may share that helped you to be successful and kind of in that transition? Because, so many people were working at a gym and then they kind of got hung up and might be, trying to transition to be a private trainer now. Tell me a little bit about what you'd recommend to them.
I would recommend, first off, like, you have to believe in what you're putting out there. If you were a trainer at the commercial place to just go in and get a paycheck, going private is going to be extremely hard for you. It's not one of those. You have to, know why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and what your clients are going to benefit from it. And that's the approach I take every single day as far as when I take on a client. How am I, what are we going to do here that's going to better you in everyday life? And I think if you take that approach and you believe that your training skill set is firm, if you believe it's strong, then you apply that to, personal training, going private, whether it's online, and I think it'll just flow. It'll flow naturally.
Awesome. And then kind of, I know we were talking about a bit of personal freedom before. I know you were interested in moving more of your business online, because you mentioned that you work about 45 hours per week right now. When you think of online training and how it might benefit you more, are you, as you kind of look into that, are you thinking of doing that for more personal freedom?
More personal freedom, absolutely. There's obviously some sort of pay structure, and I talked to a bunch of friends that are doing the Zooms or the Twitch or the online services right now. And, I was fortunate to be able to do a free workout through one of my friends who runs this thing called Rooted by Community, putting on a free workout for people in the community. And I had about 20 people sign up for it, which was kind of cool to see on the screen. Everyone, I asked for feedback, whether it was positive, or negative. I just wanted all sorts of feedback. It was my first one. I was scared. I'm not going to lie. It was one of those, like, I've never been in front of the screen. I'm used to being, hands-on, very cueing, very technical. But, at the end of the day right now, especially in this pandemic that we're in, it's about just moving. People want to move right now. So if we can get them moving, obviously if online is what it transitions to later on, it's going to allow more freedom, because now you get, 20 people online, versus that one-on-one. And, whether it's you're taking income Venmo donations, or you set up a platform on Zoom where you get invites only, that's going to be the new style of training, I feel like, here in the next 2 to 3 years for sure.
That's awesome. And we totally agreed with all of us here at Fitness Mentors that that's kind of where the industry is going. So it's good to hear that you were, very successful in that transition to, from full-time 24-hour fitness employee, like top level, top earner, to all of a sudden just, hey, you're furloughed. We're going to give you no help and not really communicate, to really seeing you jump into the success that you've had. I wanted to get you on this podcast so that you can kind of give some advice and provide some help for trainers that are kind of maybe now looking to do the same thing. And it's really cool to see that you feel your next step is also to kind of dabble more in the online training and hear that that's kind of where you feel the industry is going as well. I guess on a final note, what was, we'll say, the most important piece of advice you got when you were starting? And tell me about that.
Most important advice I got, I called my buddy Kay, who was actually a mentor of mine when I first started at 24-Hour Fitness, and he owns Dynagrid out in Redondo Beach. And he said, dude, apply whatever I've taught you, apply whatever you've learned over the years from different managers, just different friends, or different styles of training that you've done, from boot camp classes to, whatever it is that you learn, and apply that craft to everyday life, as far as like your confidence in it. You have to be confident in what you're doing, or else, there's always that little voice in the back of your head saying you might do, you might not, and just run with it, actually. And he said, believe in your craft, and it'll take you a long way. And that is what I'm taking on a day-to-day basis. I love it.
So really just believe in yourself and apply that belief to everyday work. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Awesome, Gilbert. Well, it's awesome to have you on this podcast. I know a ton of people are going to benefit from the information that you gave. If you guys are really looking to transition into private training, definitely check out our Business and Sales CEU course. It's a great way to have a step-by-step process to set up your private training business, and also just learn how to get clients, how to market, how to use social media, things of that nature, to really help you grow to build a successful private personal training business in whichever way that you decide to do so. But besides that, Gil, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really pumped to have you. And I will see all of you guys next week on the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast.
Thanks,
cheers, guys.
As always, thanks for listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. You can learn more about Fitness Mentors at fitnessmentors.com. Be sure to share this podcast on social media. And remember, we are here to help you succeed.